IVC, it's Aaron, Metalhead. Today I'm going to be talking about and showing my collection of one of my favorite bands, Megadeth. They've been one of my favorite bands since the mid-'80s. For a time, they were my favorite band. My last couple years of high school and a couple years after that, they were my favorite band in the world. I loved them. I still love them. They'll always be one of my favorites. Great stuff. Of course, Dave Mustaine came from Metallica originally, and they actually used 7 of his songs on the first 3 Metallica records, which is almost a full record in itself. 4 on Kill 'Em All, 2 on Ride the Lightning, and then 1 on Master of Puppets. So if you took all that songs, you can make a whole record, really, which is pretty cool. I guess, yeah. So they started off with, it was Dave Mustaine, lead guitar vocals, Chris Poland on guitar, David Ellefson, who has been there most of the time, but he's just gone for a couple albums, on bass, and Gar Samuelson on drums, which is the original lineup. And I actually only have the original first cassette of them. Have it on cassette only. Killing's My Business and Business is Good. One of my favorite albums. I love it. Very raw production on this. A lot of people don't like that, but I really do. It's almost like demo-ish sounding, and I really love that. I like the raw sounding stuff. I mean, I like the polished stuff too, but and later on they redid it. I'm still looking for a vinyl copy of that, but I've got this one. This is The Final Kill, which is Killing Is My Business and Business is Good, remixed, so it has better production. It sounds excellent. Sometimes I prefer the original just because I'm so used to it, because I've heard it for so many years. And here's this. This is pretty cool. It's a double record. It's got a bunch of, it's got the whole album remixed, and then a bunch of alternate takes, demos, stuff like that. And it's on this translucent red vinyl, double vinyl. Really cool stuff. And, you know, it's got the lyrics. And, you know, thing written by Dave Mustaine in here, and Vinnie Paul from Pantera, which is cool. But this album's so good. It starts off with Last Rites and Love to Death. Amazing stuff there. You know, it's just so unique. Skull Beneath the Skin's one of my favorites. Looking Down the Cross, Chosen Ones. And Mechanics was on this, which was originally done by Metallica when he was in the band. And then they changed it to the Four Horsemen, slowed it down a bit, and changed it to the Four Horsemen. But Mechanics is great. Totally different lyrics. It's just but it's the same song, it's just a little speedier. Which was always what you know, back in the 80s, I was like, yeah, Metallica's good, but Megadeth's faster, they're speedier, they're heavier, and they were just always my favorite. And I love, you know, all the original Big Four I love, but Megadeth was my favorite back then. Now it's probably a tie between Megadeth and Anthrax. I don't know. Megadeth's probably still my favorite. They're all so good, though. But this has some extra stuff. It's got you know, These Boots is kind of different. Nancy Sinatra song, but different lyrics, and pretty cool. Great stuff, and it's a great introduction to thrash. It's influenced, that album has influenced a lot of thrash artists, and kind of extreme metal kind of comes from this early thrash stuff from them, and Metallica, Slayer, stuff like that. So after that album, this is the one right here, Peace Sells But Who's Buying. This is my original copy I've had since the 80s. Great album. This is a perfect album as far as I'm concerned. And there's the vinyl there. The inner sleeve has the lyrics. Great stuff. So what happened is, I was into like just regular, just like the hard rock metal, you know, Quiet Riot, Def Leppard, all that stuff. And then I started getting into Wasp and Twisted Sister, a little heavier. And then I had a Columbia record company thing. And I got all the original records, and for 2 months I kept it. And I don't think I ever paid for them. A lot of people did that when they were kids. And the first one that was sent to me, just like as the month of the selection of the month, was this on cassette. And I had never heard Megadeth, never really heard thrash music at all. And I instantly fell in love with it, played it constantly, and they became my favorite band just from that. And yeah, it's so good. I mean, Wake Up Dead, I just love that song. The Conjuring, the title song, Peace Sells, it's very iconic. Good Morning Black Friday, love that too. I mean, it's even I even like the cover of I Ain't Superstitious, the Willie Dixon song. And My Last Words, Bad Omen, Devil's Island, every song is a classic to me on here. Love it. There's the band. Same lineup in the first 2 albums. That's the only 2 that the original lineup were on. And yeah, I just can't tell you how much this changed my musical taste, this album. I got into the heavier side of metal from this one. I mean, Wasp first got me into the heavier, but this really got me into the thrash music, and I became a thrash music lover from that. And I also have this Wake Up Dead 12-inch single, which is pretty cool. Because I love Wake Up Dead, and it sounds so good on a 12-inch single. They just sound really good. Love that. Wake Up Dead's one of my favorites. I just love how it's mainly instrumental, just a little bit of singing, but it just captures your attention the whole way through. It's so good. And so by that time, this is the first album that came out here. So Far, So Good, So What, as them being my favorite band. And I love this record. I still think this is one of the most underrated records. It's so good. Into the Lungs of Hell, the instrumental that started out, this speed masterpiece going in to set the world afire, with a little interlude with the weird old music on the record player. It's pretty cool. They do the cover of Anarchy in the UK on here by Sex Pistols. It's good. Mary Jane's a very good, kind of probably their slowest song they've done for their first 3 albums, but it's really good. 502, I always love that one, which was the California code for a drunk driving, I believe. And In My Darkest Hour, one of the best, I don't know what you'd call it. It's not really a ballad. It was actually written about his feelings after Cliff Burton had passed away from Metallica, and just what he was feeling inside. And that's what that song In My Darkest Hour is about, and it's a classic, one of my favorite songs ever. And then Liar, which there's that kind of rap thing at the end where he's singing real fast. I used to be able to do that when I was younger. And Hook and Mouth, great song, amazing record. And at this point they had Chuck Beller on the drums and Jeff Young on the guitar. Really good lineup. I prefer the first lineup a little better than this one, but this album, I just love this album. It was the first album that was actually came out as them being my favorite band, so it's has a special place to me. And then after that is what most people consider their masterpiece, including me. I mean, this and Peace Sells, they're just neck and neck for me for their best album. This is Rest in Peace, of course. The amazing record. This is a repress, but it's a great sounding repress. Here's the inner with the lyrics. I mean, it's not a brand new repress. It's pretty old. I mean, probably 20 years old, this repress or so. There's the really great. I mean, every song, starting off with, the first song, Holy Wars of Punishment Due, which is one of the greatest metal songs of all time. I think any person into metal would say that. And Hangar 18, about the aliens, is really cool. Take No Prisoners. Man, I love this album. Five Magics. Just every song is a classic. Poison Was the Cure. Lucretia Rocks Away. I love that song. It's always been one of my favorites. Tornado of Souls, of course, is just a shredding masterpiece. Dawn Patrol is a really eerie, kind of slowed down doom type, mainly instrumental, really cool. And then the title song, Rest in Peace, Polaris. One of the best metal records, thrash records of all time, if not the best. This is just an amazing album. And, anyone into heavy metal, thrash music will put it in their top 5 or 10 at minimum. Almost anyone, unless they are a Megadeth hater, which there's some of them out there that side with Metallica and don't like Megadeth because of Metallica and their feud, but I like them both. I love them both, actually. They're both great. And so after that, they put out, I only have them on picture disc, which are up on my wall, the next two, but I'll show them. They're, the next one, Countdown to Extinction, which broke them big, really had Symphony for Destruction, which was a huge hit. Great song. This is an amazing record, too. I mean, every song good. Skin on My Teeth starting out with that. And at this point, they'd progressed, and I believe they had Nick Menza on the drums at this point. He's a great drummer. He was on actually Rest in Peace, too. That's right. Yeah, Nick Menza, great drummer who's passed along, and that's too bad. Marty Friedman, amazing guitarist on here. David Ellison was on all these early ones, the bass player. He's a great bass player. And this album, I mean, I had friends that weren't into the thrash, and they even liked this. And even the thrash friends I had liked this. Everyone loved this record when it was out, and it's just amazing. It's got Architecture of Aggression's amazing. Sweating Bullets, probably my least favorite on here, but it was a single. It's good, though. It's really good. Captive Honor, that's good. Ashes in Your Mouth, one of my favorites. High Speed Dirt, man, there's some good stuff. The title song, I love the title song. I love this album, and I need to get a copy of this on vinyl. I have the picture disc, like I said, and the same thing goes for Euthanasia, the next album. I only have it on picture disc on vinyl, but I have the CD, and this is another really underrated record of them. Really, here, I'll turn it this way. Killer stuff. I'll just take the thing out so it doesn't have the glare. But you know, Reckoning Day, starting off with that. Train of Consequences. Great album here. To Le Monde, I love that song. And they redo it on a later album, which I'll get to. This is just such a good album. They didn't do any bad album as far as I'm concerned, even the one I don't have. There's one album I only have a burned copy of, so I won't be showing that. But, you know, I Thought I Knew It All, Victory, you know, Elysian Fields, I love that song. Man, this is a really great album. I need to get both these on just regular vinyl. I have them on picture disc, like I said. So then after those, they did a really great album. This one here, Cryptic Writings. Killer record. This is the original. I bought this when it came out. You can tell it's been played. Played it to death. Great record. You know, it's got Trust and Almost Honest, which were, you know, just a little different from Megadeth, but really good. And Use the Man, Mastermind, Disintegrators, I'll Get Even. Oh my God, I love this record. Sin, A Secret Place was maybe my favorite on here. Have Cool, She Wolf is amazing. Vortex, you know, just great all the way through. And here's the inner, and then the vinyl with the. There you go. But yeah, I love Cryptic Writings. I think it's a great album. And then I also have, you know, they reissued, they remixed it, and it sounds a little bit different on the remix. I prefer the original mix, and they remixed it and put a different cover like this, which you can buy in vinyl. But I really prefer the original mix of it. It's just how I'm used to it, and I think it just has more punch to it. It's a kick-ass record. And then after that, this album, this is actually not the. I wish I had the original version of this too, because the cover is a bit better. But this is World Needs a Hero, another underrated record by them. I love this one. You know, it's got Moto Psycho, 1,000 Times Goodbye, that's a great one. Burning Bridges, Losing My Senses, Dread and the Fugitive Mind, that's such a good song. Return to Hangar, kind of a second part of Hangar 18. And yeah, here's what the original cover looked like here, the inner. It's got all the lyrics. They put this on double vinyl. And just plain black sleeves with the double record, double black wax. I prefer black wax myself, but I like color too. Just as long as it sounds good, I don't really care. So after that, they put out, actually before that I believe was Risk. And Risk, a lot of people don't like. I actually really like a few songs on Risk, but I don't have it. I need to get it, so I didn't show that. And then they put out The System Has Failed. Really good record. You know, all these records are good. My favorite era was Euthanasia and earlier. Maybe Cryptic Writings and earlier. I just love, like, those are all-time classics to me. But all these later ones are so good, too. They're just excellent music. Excellent thrash. And, you know, this has got Kick the Chair on it. I love that song. You know, Shadow of Death, Truth Be Told, you know, Died Dead Enough. Man, this is good. System Has Failed. They came back with a vengeance on this one after those last ones, and you know, it's got all the lyrics. These are all represses, all these later ones. I don't have any of them original. I wish I did, but they sound great. So that's all I really care about. It's cool to have the originals as long as the represses sound good. I'm good with it though. And then this here, I think is one of their. This is probably my favorite one they've done. Yeah, I'd have to say this is my favorite album they've done post Cryptic Writings. It's United Abominations. I love this album. Sleep Washington is next. Never Walk Alone. A Call to Arms is so good. The title song, Gears of War, man, it just has that killer heavy riffing in it. I just love it. And they do a To Le Monde on here with Christina's, I don't know how to say her last name, Sabica or something like that, from Lacuna Coil, and it's really good. It's just killer. Burnt Ice, I love the song Burnt Ice. Pray for Blood, amazing record. I love this record. And the inner gatefold here. And you know, like the usual, has all the lyrics and liner notes. And the custom labels. But yeah, I love this. I love all Megadeth stuff. even a Risk I like a little. I mean, there's some songs that are kind of weird on it, but I like it. And it's got this inner. I can hear with the band and Sean Drover. It's had the Drover brothers, I believe, on this one. Sean Drover on the drums, and is it Gary Drover on the guitar? I mean, on other guitar, I believe. I might be wrong there. Let's see. Glenn Drover, sorry, not Gary. Glenn, I knew that. So, yeah, great album. And then I'm actually missing one of the records, but it's not quite up. Up next, they had this In Game, another great record. I love this one too. I mean, just I can't even read these. It's weird printing, but it's really good. Bite the Hand is really good. Bodies, In Game, and at this point, they got James Lomenzo on the bass, which I will be showing his earlier band after Megadeth, maybe, if I have enough time. He's a great bass player, James Lomenzo. He's on a couple Megadeth records, and he's just great. I love him. And here we go. Lyrics. There's the vinyl, and Bite the In Game. That's a good one. The Hardest Part of Letting Go. That's really good. Right to Go Insane. 1320, 44 minutes. I love that song. That might be my favorite on here. This Day We Fight. Great album. All their stuff is killer. I don't actually have 13. I had it on a CD, but I believe I gave it to my brother. Need to still get that one on vinyl. It's pretty much that and Risk are the only ones I'm missing. And then this one here I think is very underrated. I really love Super Collider. A lot of people hate it. I just really like this album. Cold Sweat, the Thin Lizzy song they do on this is so good. Oh man, I love that. And Kingmaker, Built for War, Dance in the Rain, I love that one. The Blackest Crow. There's really good, solid stuff on here. The song Super Collider is a little mellower and different sounding, and I actually like it, but the rest of this album is pretty heavy. It's a good record. I really like Super Collider, and this just has a plain inner sleeve. This one is not a repress. I guess I was wrong. I didn't have one. Wasn't. And then that brings me up to Dystopia, their latest amazing masterpiece of the record. Love this one. Every song's good. The Threat is Real, Bullet to the Brain. Every song, really good stuff. Very aggressive thrash masterpiece of a record. Killer album. I love Dystopia. And great album here. So, there's my Megadeth. Okay. I also have this little cassette single I bought back in the 80s. It has Anarchy in the UK, Black Friday, and Devil's Island Live. It's kind of cool. You don't see that very often. Thought I'd show it. So, the only other Megadeth-related thing I have is this album. This is, kind of the only one. Altitudes and Attitude. Get It Out. And this is an amazing record. It's got there he is, right. I want to get them right. Right here, David Ellison from Megadeth and Frank Bello, the two bass players from Megadeth and Anthrax, and they got together and did an album, and this is a really good, it's almost like more of a hard rock heavy metal record than a thrash record. There's some thrash parts in it, but it's really good. This is just so catchy and killer heavy music. Great album. If any fans of Megadeth, Anthrax, it's really good. Frank Bello does amazing vocals on this. Of course, he's done he sang one Anthrax song. I think it was on Stunt 42, if I remember right, the last song. But yeah, really good. So at the end of these, I like to show another band. So I'm going to go Megadeth related, and this is White Lion. Megadeth related, you say. Well, James Lomenzo was a bass player for White Lion who was later on a couple of Megadeth records. So this album, Fight to Survive, is my favorite White Lion, always has been. It's the most raw, heavy. It's like a heavy metal record before they got a little mellower. It's really good. And their guitarist, Vito Bratta, is one of the best guitarists in all of metal. He is amazing. He's kind of reminded me of Eddie Van Halen in a way, just how he played. This really excellent guitarist, and James Lomenzo, him, Mike Tramp, and who was the drummer, Greg D'Angelo. And this album is so good. Broken Heart, Fight to Survive, All the Fallen Men, All Burn in Hell. That's such a good song. El Salvador, The Road to Valhalla. I mean, that's just really good. Anyone that is like on the fence on White Lion or just knows their singles, listen to this record. It's kick-ass. And then, of course, this album here is the one that introduced me to White Lion, was Pride. But I got into this about a year before it broke. This album was out almost a year before the song Wait came out, and it became a really big hit. And me and my friends were listening to this for forever. I remember I was visiting in Portland, Oregon, and visiting my family, and they kept playing the song "All You Need Is Rock and Roll" on the radio station there, and I was like, oh my god, I love that, it's so killer. And so I went and bought it, and I've been listening to it. That's before any of their singles, really. So I've been listening to White Lion before they were popular. Really good album. I mean, everyone knows the hits, but Hungry and Sweet Little Lovin', All Join Our Hands, All You Need Is Rock and Roll. It's got Wait and Tell Me, and When the Children Cry, are the singles. But this is a great album too. I don't like it nearly as well as Fight to Survive, but it's pretty darn good too. And then I have a still sealed copy of Big Game, their third record. This is a very good record as well. It's got some really heavy stuff and some of the more groove pop type stuff, which actually this is a little heavier than Pride probably. It's got Little Fighter and Broken Home and Cry for Freedom are the mellow songs, but Dirty Woman is really good. Living on the Edge, Let's Get Crazy, If My Mind Is Evil, really good stuff. And they do a really killer version of Radar Love. The drumming in that is amazing. Killer album. There he is again, James Lomenzo from Megadeth. So there we go. There's my White Lion, except I also have this. It's in a 12-inch poster bag. It's Little Fighter. Pretty cool. 12-inch single. And it folds way out. It doesn't really have just folds out like a great big poster here. And that's how it came, with the record inside. So it sounds really good, that single does. I like the song Little Fighter, so that's pretty cool. So there we go. That's my Megadeth for today, unrelated. So all right, everybody. Until next time, everyone, keep rocking, keep heavy, metal.